You were okay. Hey, okay, so I had a different topic planned for today, but um, at least on the North Shore, schools are canceled because we had the threat of tornadoes and hail. Looks like that threat is a lot less likely now. Of course, it seems like every time they cancel school, nothing happens. But I thought today we'd talk about how to deal with bad weather at your office. You can see my kids in the background because they are not at school, so I'm home with them. So I thought we'd talk about dealing with bad weather at your office and employees calling out sick, or not sick, but taking the day off because their kids don't have school. They have to take care of them, like me. Your shoes. This is Charlotte. So the first thing, dealing with bad weather, living in South Louisiana, of course we have hurricanes. One great thing about hurricanes, pretty much the only good thing about hurricanes, is that you get a lot of advanced warning. Watch out, Penelope. This is real life. I don't know what else to say, but there. All right, y'all, excuse me. Can you give me a minute?
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. So, hurricanes, you get advance notice, and we don't get hail or tornadoes too much here, but even just flooding, a lot of areas deal with flooding and massive amounts of rainfall, bad weather that is difficult to drive in. So whenever these things come up, of course, the biggest thing is always about employee safety. You never want to put your employees into a dangerous situation where they're having to drive through a flood or, of course, hail, anything like that. You always want to ensure your employee safety comes first, not just for ethical reasons, but for legal liability reasons too. So the employee's safety comes first. Then, of course, you have to communicate to your employees what's going on, what the plan is. And so, give me a minute. We've got some pouting happening. And so when you are dealing with, can you give me a minute? When you are dealing with those types of situations, or with like school being canceled, you're also dealing with a lot of times employees not coming into work. So how do you get your business to continue on and deal with your customers and clients when you're dealing with limited staff or potentially no staff? So again, that comes back to communication. So you've got to communicate to your staff what's going on. You have to communicate to your customers what's going on. And hopefully you have a good line of communication with your janitorial company, and you can let your janitorial company know what's going on. And if so, Facebook pages are great to be able to communicate to your customers, tell them what's going on if you have to close for the day, or if you're dealing with limited staff, you can send out, of course, an email to all your employees, text messages. For us as a janitorial company, we have some clients that we text message, some clients that prefer a phone call. All right, give me a minute. I think we're going to be brief today. I don't think we're going to go 20 minutes. And so how do you communicate with your janitorial company? We actually have an app that can allow our customers to communicate with us and have a message board with our employees, so everyone knows if an issue comes up, if anything needs to be communicated. We've got a great way to do that makes it really easy for our clients to keep in touch with us. So that's pretty much what I wanted to talk about. If you are dealing with limited staff, then really, hey, it's just not going to be fun. There's not a whole lot. Hopefully you have some duplication, some ability to cut back and say, well, this can be done tomorrow. And, it's just not a fun situation, but kids have to be taken care of. People expect their kids to be at school. When it's a last minute thing and school gets canceled, there's just not a lot you can do about that. And so, it's on the business, the owner, and the managers to make the best out of a bad situation. So, there's not a whole lot of advice that I have for you on that. As far as how to actually deal with the bad weather in your office, if it's just bad weather, it's not school being canceled, you can. So the number one biggest thing is how nasty all the stuff that gets trudged into the office. I don't know if that's a word, trudged. Sounds like a word. Should be a word if it's not. And it gets just dirt and mud, and the floors are disgusting. Having a really nice weatherproof mat at all your entrances is vital. It makes a huge difference to how nice your floors stay when you're dealing with bad weather, especially. And of course, your janitorial staff should be taking care of that every night or every time they come to clean. So if you have any questions, if you would love to have a great communication with your janitorial staff and you want to get in touch with us, check out our website, www.weststarbuildingservices.com, or check us out on Facebook, YouTube, probably other places. I'm not on Twitter. No tweeting from us. But that's it for today. We're gonna cut it short, and hopefully you can relate to having to be home with your kids and do something important when they're around. All right.